Probably the most interesting story involves writing Rumpelstiltskin, the opera, because I got the commission to write the opera about 2 years before it was actually performed. So I had a lot of time to percolate and to think about what I wanted to do. Originally, I wanted to do a story retelling the Oedipus story from Jocasta's point of view, which I still would like to do someday. I asked all my writer friends, are you interested in collaborating on an opera with me? And that's a big thing to ask of somebody. So I was talking to one of my writer friends, and she said, you should do a fairy tale. And as an aside, I'm not that interested artistically in operas that tell real event stories. There's Nixon in China and all these other operas that people have done, and that doesn't appeal to me as an artist. The thought of doing a fairy tale was very appealing to me, because my music is sort of a little bit unrealistic, I like to think of it. So my friend suggested I maybe do Rumpelstiltskin, and then I thought, well, Rumpelstiltskin has the spinning wheel, and that could be very musically interesting. I decided immediately that I wanted to write the part of Rumpelstiltskin for a high soprano. I also decided I wanted to turn all the other gender aspects of the opera on its head, so the father of the girl, you probably know the story. The girl's father tells Rumpelstiltskin tells the king that she can spin straw into gold, and the king says, okay, come to my castle and do it or I'll kill you. Rumpelstiltskin goes and helps her. And then wants her firstborn child in payment. So the father of the girl I wrote for a male soprano. So the father's a male soprano, Rumpelstiltskin was a high soprano, the girl was a mezzo-soprano, and then the only male voice in the opera was the king, who was this sort of, he was a baritone, and he played him sort of doltishly, which I thought was an interesting choice. It worked. And as I was moving through the ideas of how I was going to put this together, it occurred to me that I should probably write the libretto myself. I'm glad I did, because as I was composing, I was cutting lines out of the libretto because I wrote way too many words. And if you collaborate with someone, you have to call them up and say, can I cut this line out? And it's a whole negotiation. I didn't have to do that part of it. I worked very closely with the director, and he looked through my libretto and gave me lots and lots of feedback. And then the piece was actually performed 5 times, I think, and it was sold out all 5 times. It was done at a very small theater in Boston, but still sold out all 5 times. It was a huge success. Looking back at it, I would do a lot of things differently, but I also think that's a fantastic experience as well, to know I would do this differently, I would do that differently, and then go on to the next piece and write something a little bit better.